Well, welcome everyone and good morning. Thanks again for being here for our weekly press conference. I want to start off first by talking about this next week, starting today at 2 p.m. We will be engaging with the public on Facebook, Twitter, and Nextdoor pages to have a virtual town hall on our ethics reform. We're looking for feedback and from residents who can help us continue to shape the ethics policy that elected officials and those who are appointed by elected officials will be expected to follow. So with that, residents can continue to weigh in after the town halls. These discussions will be ongoing through our evening district advisory boards in March and April, but also through our social media outlets. So please continue to give us feedback and help us ensure that the policy represents the values of the community. With that, I want to pivot a little bit and talk about mental health. As we know, the pandemic has taken quite a toll on every aspect of our life, but also in particular our mental health. We have seen during the pandemic, 2 in 5 adults have reported symptoms of anxiety or depression, which is up from 1 in 10 folks reporting such symptoms before the pandemic. So thankfully, though, we have great community resources here in Wichita and partners who are here to help. With that, we have the Mental Health Association, who is working on a new program to help spread the word about mental health resources in our community. So I'd like to welcome Eric, who is the Director of Development and Communications for the Mental Health Association of South Central Kansas, up here to tell us more about that program and other resources that are available. Eric?
Thank you, Mayor Whipple. Since the start of the pandemic, the Mental Health Association of South Central Kansas has seen anxiety screenings increase by 650% in a single year, and we've seen depression screenings increase 900%. In that same year, suicides just in the city of Wichita have increased by 70%. And perhaps worst of all, for the very first time, both the largest and the fastest growing demographic of those taking their own lives have been individuals under the age of 18. Every year, approximately 25% of the population will experience a mental health issue that manifests strongly enough to be diagnosed by a mental health professional. 25% is 1 in 4, so unless you only know 2 other people, you know someone every year who lives with a mental health issue. And if it's not you, then it's someone you love. It might be your 9-year-old niece who hasn't told you that she has an eating disorder because a girl at school called her fat. It might be your coworker in the next cubicle who thinks that if he tells you he's been struggling with depression, you'll be afraid of him. It might be your friend from church who has stopped coming to services on Sunday morning because the loud music triggers his post-traumatic stress disorder. Mental illness does not discriminate. It doesn't care what color your skin is or what country you're from. It doesn't care about your gender or your sexual orientation. It doesn't care how much money you make, what your job title is, what zip code you live in, or how many degrees you hold. And it doesn't care if you go to church or what denomination or religious affiliation you subscribe to. And so, because of this, MHA is today announcing our initiative to reach the estimated 417 congregations in the city of Wichita and the thousands of churches throughout the South Central Kansas region to be a back office resource to the overwhelmed pastoral and lay leadership teams throughout our region. Your congregations are not immune from the mental health statistics that I just quoted. And with our 30-plus programs that serve the entire age spectrum, our same-day, next-day service at our counseling center, and our nearly 300 units of housing across the region, MHA provides our services to the families and individuals within your churches who need more care than your seminary training may have provided. In the city of Wichita alone, 100,000 people every year require mental health care, and this is before the pandemic. And yet only 40,000 of those people actually seek and receive the treatment that they need. The key to removing the stigma that mental health still unfairly carries and allowing those 60,000 people every year to be willing to ask for help is to increase the visibility and raise the education level about mental illness. for absolutely no cost to our area churches. Our staff of nearly 200 professionals stands ready to provide a 5-minute announcement, a 20-minute sermon, or a full hour or multi-week mental health series for adult Sunday school classes in your congregation. Now, I am aware that church leaders are reticent to give up their pulpit even for one Sunday. I took seminary classes myself, and around 3 dozen of my closest friends are Mennonite pastors within a 30-minute drive of this building. Some pastors might be concerned that we are trying to drive our revenue stream using their congregations, when in truth we are a nonprofit organization, and the vast majority of our programs at MHA are provided at no cost to the public. We are funded entirely by a combination of federal, state, local, and private grants, and we believe firmly that your access to quality mental health care should never be determined by your financial situation. There are already too many hurdles to people seeking mental health treatment, and cost should not be one of those hurdles. I've also heard the argument that if you allow one congregation to speak to your church, then you have to allow them all. And to that I say, yes, please do. If you have an organization come to you that provides care that your congregants desperately need, that is underfunded and already in too short supply, and they offer their services to your flock at no cost, asking simply for a few minutes to make you aware of those services with no ulterior motives other than to altruistically improve the quality of life for the members of your church, why would you not offer that pulpit to them? Now, bear in mind, this is the same service that we have been offering to our corporate community for years in an effort to reduce the presenteeism that costs our area businesses hundreds of millions of dollars in lost productivity every single year. We are honored to work with professional engineering consultants, Comfort Care Homes, Folston Law, AGH, Lang Real Estate, Fidelity Bank, and many, many more on this corporate initiative. But a huge part of MHA's nonprofit model is finding those in need where they are. And we know that they are in our churches. So if you serve on a church leadership team, if you lead a Sunday school class, if you are a member of a worship committee, please call our communications office at 316-651-1241 to learn about how MHA can help you care for your congregation. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. We appreciate the continued collaborative approach of our nonprofit community, especially reaching out to our faith-based community as well to try to get more folks engage with services that can be helpful. With that, we're going to talk a little bit about our ozone, switch into really a concern for folks when it comes to physical health, especially folks who are elderly, folks with asthma, and children. Right now, from March through October, this is ozone season, and we have staff who are out monitoring the air quality here in Wichita and posting, utilizing our social media outlets on that air quality and with best practice recommendations to help us maintain a appropriate and safe ozone level. These is a goal not only for public health, but also because if we go out of compliance here in Wichita with our air quality standards, businesses could face stricter regulations and our citizens could actually pay more money for things like fuel. So we want to work together to keep our ozone down. In our environmental management analyst from the Public Works Department, Alex, is someone who is working on this daily and is out there making sure that we know what our ozone levels are and we can communicate ways to help keep those levels at a safe level. So with that, I'm going to give the floor to Alex so he can discuss this a bit more. I think Alex brought a friend with him.
Thank you. My name is Alejandro Arias Esparza. It's ALEJANDRO-ARIAS-ESPARZA. And this is my friend Beatrice, BEEATRICE, for those who are wondering. And thank you, Mayor Whipple, for this. I'm just here to say that ozone season officially begins March 1st and lasts through October 31st. During this time, ground level ozone is most likely to form and impact air quality. Ozone is formed, as we can see on that graphic right there, when chemicals from industry and transportation mix with oxygen in the presence of sunlight. So as our temperatures continue to rise, thankfully, we need to be aware of potential air quality impacts. Now, it's not all bad news. You can help us reduce ozone levels or ozone-causing emissions simply by reducing your idling, so shut your vehicle off when you're not moving for more than 2 minutes, bringing your lunch to work to avoid unnecessary driving, or something as simple as fueling before 10 a.m. or after 6 p.m. to avoid all those chemicals to come in contact with higher temperatures. Now, if you would like to learn more about what you can do or what you can help us do to reduce ground level ozone and the emissions that cause it, you can visit beairawareks.org or follow us on Instagram at beairawareks, where we will post ozone forecasts, weather forecasts, or anything that may impact air quality. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us via Instagram or via email to myself at aarias@wichita.gov. Are there any questions? And if you want to see cute pictures of Beatrice, I do encourage you to visit our Instagram page. Thank you.
Megan, I think the city council should get a mascot. That would be an interesting competition. But I digress. Okay, so next thing we're going to talk about is really something I'm excited about. And that's our aquatics plan. During the beginnings of the pandemic, we had to make some really hard decisions with our budget and also hard decisions on the programming we offer to ensure safety of residents. And we ended up really shutting down our pools and our splash pads. But the silver lining there was we could move forward faster on our plan to revitalize our aquatics plan to ensure that once we do open back up, our pools and our splash pads would be in an even better condition than they were when, if we stayed on track with the original plan, because we could speed up and take advantage of those being closed. So here to tell us more and give us a preview of what we can expect this season is the manager of aquatics, and his name is Brian. So Brian, why don't you come up here and give us an update.
Thank you, Mayor Whipple. My name is Brian Hill. I run the aquatics program for the City of Wichita Parks and Rec Department. I also run O.J. Watson Park. I'm going to give you a little update on where we are with the aquatics plan and the construction phases of the project, and also discuss a little bit about what we're looking for from the community. Just as a reminder, these are the locations that we're discussing. Those shows the renovated pools and the pools that were converted to splash pads. You also notice that we have 3 projects that have not started yet. Those are their phase 3 projects that will be starting at some point in the future. But we are hoping that all of the other phase 1 and our phase 2 projects will be able to be open for this coming summer. Here is the basic plan from Edgemoor. Edgemoor was one of our largest pools and has been converted to a splash pad. With its size and area, it's actually technically 2 splash pads at one site. So very excited for this one. And here's some pictures of where it currently sits now. The play structures are in place. That bucket's ready to go to get filled with water and dump on kids when it gets a lot hotter up here. The second slide shows kind of where our fishing dock area, where a little kind of water stream will kind of flow. Plenty of seating for parents and grandparents to enjoy watching their kiddos, and people will be able to stay safe. The structures you see there in the back, those are actually shade structures. We don't have the shade covers on just yet. We'll put those on at the beginning of the season, but very excited for how Edgemoor is looking. Here are the base plans for the Evergreen Pool and its conversion to a splash pad. And here is its current situation. There's the main feature in the kind of the grotto area. You'll have water sprays coming out of those big, large structures, and there'll be a water kind of in that mouth area that kids can climb and go down. Really excited for how the artwork turned out. Nice picture showing one of the designs on the ground. It fits really well into the theme around Evergreen, and it looks great. It's a great feature that people notice right as soon as they get to the park. So I'm very excited on how this one turned out. The colors you see on the ground, when it gets wet with the water from the splash pad, those colors are going to really shine and pop, and it's exciting. Here is the splash pad design from Boston Pool, been converted to a splash pad water playground, and here's some scenes from it. Very disappointed on the picture on the left. A plane from McConnell had just flown over. I was trying to get my phone ready so I could take a quick picture of it, but it's lined up perfectly right in between all those other planes you see on there. It would have been a great shot. I'll have to go back out there this summer and try to get one again. They usually fly by about every 10 minutes in the morning, so I'm sure we're going to get another shot at them. But you'll see water streaming off those plane structures up there. And we also have some dry playground structures there as well. They're kind of a fun little rope plane that fits in with the theme. Boston turned out even better than I expected. So once again, another great project that I can't wait for it to be open. Talking about the phase 1 pools, that shows the design of the Orchard Pool with some of the things we've added. Here's some pictures of its current construction. Most of the base work is done. I actually should have updated this picture. I don't have a picture to update it, but the actual decking has already been poured and is ready to go, and the features are being installed this week. Some of the artwork on some of the retaining walls we have, there's an example of some of the stuff that's been done there. This pool's looking beautiful. Very excited to see people back in it this summer. It's exciting to see this project kind of get to this point where we're actually seeing things being done and it being ready and open to the public for them to enjoy. Here is our Aley Pool. Aley was kept basically as our main spot for our swimming events and for swim meets and things like that. So not a lot of work to the basin, but a lot of stuff, pulling the fence out and adding some more lounging features. There's kind of the picture of one of the retaining walls that's been installed. And the picture on the right, it's super exciting for me because we did a lot of work on the plumbing and changed the filtration system. We have brand new sand filters, which are great at keeping our water clear and clean, safe for the community. We had good products, but the stuff was in there. It's kind of an age technology. So to see that we're actually right on where everybody else is in the rest of the world is exciting. So as the operator, I had to throw that picture in. So that's kind of gold for us. Here is the change from the Adams Pool to the new McAfee Pool. The renamed McAfee Pool shows the layout and the design. Very excited to see how this one has turned out. You see a lot of work on the inside that we've added more of a fun play area there in the middle of the pool for the shallow area. A lot of zero depth entry for people to enter in. This decking is also either being poured this week or the first of next week, and you'll start seeing the features go up with the new slide, and the climbing wall should be installed within the next 3 weeks as well. Shade structures will be going in soon, so you're going to really see a lot of color popping out of the site, and it's going to be a nice contrast with the concrete that was there with the cone of the shade structure. The McAfee Pool is, it's one of our very exciting projects, and cannot wait for us to be able to open on Memorial. This is the part where we're talking to the community. We are now currently hiring. We've got about 140 positions that we're trying to fill. We're looking for lifeguards, head guards, swim instructors, splash pad operators, and some pool managers. I can't speak to how great this job is. Lifeguarding teaches people all about responsibility, being part of a team, working together. We do have a lot of fun. We try to make it, it's a great job to enjoy. You have a lot of different activities that you can participate in. It shows some of the things we do. Our annual 4th of July volleyball tournament that we like to get together and, host for the staff for all the hard work they've done. Abilities to do other things, classes that help out with. But we are definitely recruiting right now. Looking for quite a bit of staff so we can get these pools up and going. If you're looking for more information, we're accepting applications online at www.wichita.gov/aquatics. That'll send you right to the sites where you can apply for all of the jobs. If you have any other questions, please contact me at bhill@wichita.gov or 316-529-9940. And that's all I've got for you guys. Thank you. Any questions? All right. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. All right, thank you so much. Brian, where can folks go to apply for that? Is that for lifeguard jobs, is that on our wichita.gov?
It's on wichita.gov, the Blue site, and they can also go to /aquatics, and it links to all the jobs there as well.
Excellent. I actually was a lifeguard in high school and can attest that it's a fun experience. So hopefully we can get a lot of good people in there who want to help out this summer.
You might be contacting me with that.
Right, or maybe I'll actually have to go be a lifeguard if we're short. I don't know if I can get away with that. Go hang out by the pool? No? Okay, Megan says no. All right, so other than that, we got to talk a little bit about reopening, particularly with our libraries. Those who have been following along have talked to us about or have been up to date with how the library is adapting well when it comes to coronavirus restrictions by still providing services. And as we see the numbers dip and we see just some parts of our community that are reopening, the library is, of course, following along in adjusting accordingly. So with that, we have Sean back, who's going to tell us what we can expect and what the details are with the library at the current situation.
Can I get my microphone real quick?
Sure.
Sorry.
All right, thank you, Mayor. At long last, the Wichita Public Library will reopen locations for a grab-and-go service on Monday, March 8th, and here's what customers can expect. Customers will be able to browse shelves for materials. We will have public computers available at most locations, and print, copy, and fax service will be available inside most locations as well. I say most locations because our Evergreen branch is still temporarily at the Evergreen Rec Center, and we do not have space for public computing at this time. So we're asking customers who utilize Evergreen to utilize the Neighborhood Resource Center or come downtown to the Advanced Learning Library. Customers with mobile devices can use Wi-Fi service at designated tables inside most locations. And we will still offer curbside and drive-up window service for ADA accommodation for customers who wish not to come inside library facilities. To avoid gatherings at the library, we are removing lounging furniture. Meeting rooms, collaboration spaces, and the AV studio at the Advanced Learning Library will also remain closed. We will offer the Book a Librarian one-on-one tech help by appointment only at the Advanced Learning Library, and the Research Pavilion at the Advanced Learning Library will also be available by appointment only. Two other things that will remain closed at this time are the Friends of the Library used bookstore inside the Advanced Learning Library, as well as Reverie Coffee Roasters. We're working with both entities to figure out a safe way for both of them to reopen inside the library. Just some quick safety guidelines we ask customers to follow. Wear a mask or face covering during your visit to the library. We also ask that customers maintain 6 feet social distancing with customers and staff while inside. We also ask that customers hand sanitize or wash hands before and after their visit. We will have hand sanitizing stations throughout library facilities. Staff will clean high-touch surfaces throughout the day, and each location will maintain capacity limits. More information can be found at wichitalibrary.org/COVID-19. And that's all I have.
Thanks, Sean. We appreciate all the work that you and the staff of the library have been doing to maintain services in this kind of crazy COVID time. So with that, we can open up to questions, if there are any. Very good. Well, thanks a lot, everyone. Appreciate you being here. And we will always be available this week if there's anything that comes up.